What is up, everyone? In today's recipe, I'm going to show you how to make these crispy, cheesy raviolis from absolutely scratch. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is get started on the cheese filling. So chop up some basil, Italian parsley, and a few sprigs of picked thyme. After the herbs are chopped, throw them into a mixing bowl along with 1 whole egg, some grated Parmesan cheese, a few scoops of ricotta, some mozzarella to finish, and a sprinkle of sea salt and some black pepper. Give this mixture a solid mix and then keep it in the fridge until you're ready to portion out your raviolis. Alright, so once the pasta filling is done, you're going to grab your pasta dough. I've made pasta a few times on my channel, so make sure you go check out those videos in my description. But you're going to begin rolling it out into long sheets. Now, I didn't go past the 3 setting on my pasta machine, just because I like to keep the pasta fairly sturdy when I'm filling it. Next, you're going to cut the long sheet of dough in half and set the top layer of pasta for the ravioli aside and cover it with plastic to avoid it drying out. After that, you're going to grab your cheese filling from the fridge and start to portion out your raviolis. Now try to keep them as even as possible, but it's not a deal breaker if they're just a little bit off. But once that's done, you're going to brush a little bit of egg wash in between each portion of cheese and gently cover it with another sheet of pasta. Now try to avoid any air pockets to your best ability, but you're going to carefully crimp the pasta dough in between each ravioli, making sure that the edges are completely sealed. When they're all sealed up, cut the raviolis into squares with your knife or a fluted pastry cutter like I have here. And if you're really picky, you can finish off any uneven edges that you see with another round of cutting. And then you're going to transfer them to a large plate or a sheet tray that's generously dusted with semolina or AP flour. Once they're on the tray, you're going to give the raviolis another dusting of semolina flour, and then it's into a few beaten eggs and onto a tray that's lined with breadcrumbs. In this case, I'm actually using multi-grain breadcrumbs, because that's honestly all I had to work with, and it turned out incredible. Once they're all breaded, you're going to fry them for about 3 to 5 minutes in canola oil that's at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And as a general rule, only fill the pan up about halfway when deep frying. You're going to know these are done when they turn a deep golden brown and start to puff up in the middle. But once that happens, you're going to take them out of the fryer and onto a plate lined with paper towels and give them a decent sprinkle of sea salt to finish. Alright, so now that the raviolis are finished, you can really pair them with a lot of different sauces. Normally marinara is sort of the go-to one, but I whipped up a simple cream sauce that has some Parmesan cheese and lemon zest and some fresh parsley just to plate with, and I'm also going to finish them with a little fresh parm and these crispy basil leaves just for garnish. And honestly, this is an amazing dish, very simple, and you sort of get sucked into the texture of it. What up guys? All right, so these crispy raviolis are done. They look very crispy, very delicious. This little Parmesan lemon sauce that I made fits perfectly with the cheese filling, and these little garnishes, the fried basil, or crispy basil I could say, is a beautiful garnish for this dish. I love making pasta. Going through that whole process is very, very fun for me, so this is especially fun because you get to add a little bit more to it with the breading process and just making it really crispy. Just a cool rendition on pasta. I love toasted everything. Anything that's crispy has that really crunchy texture to it. I really sort of gravitate towards, if you guys haven't noticed already. So this was fun to make. I'm gonna try this out, dive into one of these crispy raviolis and tell you guys how I did. All right, so these are, you can eat these by hand. You can make them smaller too, but these look good. That little cavity has all the cheese in there, all the herbs. Wonderful flavor. I used multi-grain bread for the breadcrumbs, so it has a little bit of sweetness to it, because in multi-grain, I think they add a little bit of sugar, or maybe it's the grains. It's just a little bit sweeter, so I really like that. It also has a bit more flavor in that flour or the multi-grain mix, so it makes the breading just really flavorful. And the 3 cheeses in there, the mozzarella, ricotta, and the Parmesan cheese mixed with all those herbs. Just a killer combo. Very, very simple, very traditional. And then I paired it all with this lemon cream Parmesan sauce that I just added a little bit of parsley at the end just for color and a little bit of flavor. And I swiped that around the plate. Very, very simple sauce with this. This is actually normally served with a tomato-based sauce, and you just sort of dip it in there, snack on it. Like I said, you can make these very, very small, really, really miniature, or even larger if you want. Make like a big one, just put it right on the plate and put the sauce around and almost have like a toasted ravioli pie, which is actually a pretty good idea. But these are killer. So many different ideas, so many different flavor combos that you can mess with in this recipe. I could, think of, braised short rib raviolis, or even like like pulled chicken with like different flavors and cheeses, or even like a scallop and shrimp filling with some different herbs and, zests and things like that. So you can go crazy with these. I love the crispy aspect. Like I said, anything that's crispy and crunchy in texture, I gravitate towards. So this is definitely my dish. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure you thumbs up this video, comment down below for future video requests, and subscribe at the end of this recipe. And that's it, guys. I'll see you next time with another recipe. Later.